That meeting is still underway. The Japanese prime minister arrived about a half an hour ago. The two are currently meeting, and some headlines from President Trump are crossing at this moment. On domestic issues, the president said that the GDP number out this morning was a surprise, albeit to him a pleasant one. He also declined to comment on whether his former White House counsel Don McGahn perjured himself in terms of what he told the special counsel on the Russia investigation and President Trump's actions there. On international issues, part of today's meeting is to talk about trade issues. Prime Minister Abe wants to take off the table any idea that tariffs on Japanese cars could be put into effect, and he really wants to ask President Trump to eliminate the steel and aluminum tariffs as well. Prime Minister Abe saying to reporters in the White House today that tariffs will be part of discussions. President Trump saying that they will discuss trade. They will hope to make some progress on trade and potentially discuss a timetable for a bilateral trade deal. The two sides have been discussing that for several years at this point, and progress has been slow. We'll see if anything comes out of this meeting. They'll also be discussing North Korea, Russia, and China, which a senior Japanese official tells me are common challenges for these two allies. We'll bring you more headlines, Melissa, as we get them, especially as they relate to some market-moving issues like potential auto tariffs.
All right, Kayla, thank you. Kayla Tausche in front of the White House. So just to sort of recap all of this, we've got a pending trade deal not yet reached with Japan. We've got the new NAFTA, which is up in the air, and we have not yet a trade deal with China. What does this uncertainty, where does that lead the markets?
I don't think we're any different than we were 24 hours ago or 6 months ago. I mean, yeah, we're closer to Japan. That's fine. China's to me, that's the elephant in the room. And I don't think my opinion, we're no closer now than we were 6 months ago. We can jawbone this thing all we want. Again, if you're the Chinese, why are you making a deal? String us along. That's what I would do if I were them. There's absolutely no reason. There's an election coming up when? November 20. You know why I know that? Because you've asked me twice over the last week and a half, and I remember things.
I know. I asked you at least 2 times.
Right.
Yeah.
I
wrote it in your calendar app.
So, I mean, I would continue to do exactly what they're doing. Stay the course. Their markets have come back. Yes, they're down 5% over the last week and a half, but their markets are fine. They're throwing money at it. String the U.S. along. Everything will be fine.
I had the pleasure of sitting on the halftime report desk today to fill in for the judge, and we had an interesting conversation. One of the traders put forth this notion that maybe this uncertainty about trade is actually better for the markets than actually having the certainty of a bad deal.
I mean, listen, maybe. I don't know. I mean, let me tell you what corporate officers who are deploying, capital, they just got this great tax cut, a year and a half ago or whatever. They like visibility, right? And they like to be able to forecast how they're going to manage their businesses. And I think what 2018 showed us, at least in the financial markets, is that it did not translate, right, as far as companies were concerned, because they were unable to give very clear visibility as it relates to guidance. And I think we saw that this week. I think we had a different tenor as far as earnings season week over week. And, from some very cyclical companies like Intel, right, Triple M, that sort of thing, that have that geographic exposure.
And it was Intel that said specifically dramatic slowdown in China.
Well, I think it actually could be a good thing for the market. You have all of these things going on at the margin. I think China trade probably resolves in a way that isn't too bad for the marketplace. But at the end of the day, I think that ends up being okay for the market.